or the regional qualifiers. And we're loading. There we go. And let's get that pip going. Brought to you by MD, of course.
Working hard.
Working hard.
Pedaling as fast as I can, guys.
All right, let's take a look. Kodiak 3s, predictably, Quad Ultra AC-10s, Black Knight, 3 large pulse laser, 5 medium pulse laser, Timberwolf, 4 ER mediums, 2 large pulse, very laser heavy deck over here for TCAF. No lerms! Not seeing any lerms. Yay! General oxides, we've got 4
and things are
SRM6s.
about to melt down over here on Bros of Steel. The first mech we're dropping in, a Spirit Bear, has 2 ER large lasers, 1 Ultra AC-10, and 3
No!
LRM-10s.
Are you serious with that right now?
We are here for the meltdown.
Oh my goodness.
Let's take a look at this Jaegermech S. This Jaegermech S has an AC-20, 2 medium lasers, 2 medium pulse lasers. I admit I am a little disappointed. Timberwolf is a Gauss rifle, medium, 2 large pulse, kind of a standard build there. Stormcrow is a SRM-4 Artemis with a ER large on that Stormcrow as well. So
interesting
a
positioning.
lot of mixed builds here.
BrosOfSteel saw that Kappa was capped. They don't have any scouting information, but perhaps they think they're about to get an ambush on a team coming around Kappa, but it was actually just a single light, just basically getting in and getting out.
Centurion is 3 SRM-4s and AC-20. I do like that build, but I got to go back to the Spirit Bear.
This
3
position,
LRM-10s.
this position, unfortunately, is just allowing for a 4 cap now. They are expecting something. Well, they put up a UAV now. They're not going to see anything. You can't stay in this corner much longer. You also just potentially gave away your position.
Yeah, TCAF just looked directly at that UAV. One of the hunchbacks must have seen it.
So they sent their Arctic Cheetah up to get a peek, and they are out. That would have been a brilliant move if there was a big team coming around Kappa, but not having any of the scouting information or anything like that. There was no element of surprise there.
Yeah, and here they go moving towards Kappa.
They just spent time, gave up a 3 to 4 cap, and bled off some of the points. So that's all right though. It's not going to cost them necessarily the match at this point. They still have a lot of game to play here, and they are on the move. Looks like they're trying to get into, I guess, some sort of mid-rangey, especially with the AMS, medium pulse, medium lasers, AC-20. Gauss rifle,
TCAF
medium.
seems to have caught on to their strategy, though, rotating a little bit, maybe to get some angles towards the Sigma side of things.
Yeah, they're actually setting up to defend their. They're trying to defend their triangle. They are sending one light out on his own. The Oxide heading over to Gamma for the 4 cap. He will be out of the fight if it happens.
There's no one to catch him.
It is a smart move, but if these lights are not in the fight and BrosOfSteel moves in on him, it could be costly. But BrosOfSteel obviously forced to take a very roundabout route to get up to the fight.
And they are sending a light to Sigma at this point.
Yeah, they are. So they have a little bit of movement. Let's see if that Oxide goes to challenge him. Very interesting positioning. The fight looks like it's going to be occurring over and through Theta, though, at some point here. They have another hold on positioning for BrosOfSteel, possibly waiting for some information. The Arctic Cheetah poking around the corner, and this Oxide's about to peek up right over the top of him. They have no idea they're there. Oh, you heard him now. Got a good shot on him, and the Arctic Cheetah's putting some shots into his back, and there goes the LRMs from the Spirit Bear. So good hits by the Arctic Cheetah, but he did take a little bit of return fire, but they chased that Oxide.
A little bit of damage,
right
but not too much.
Probably mostly spread.
That being said, I think that Oxide probably knows exactly where they all are now, and they are set up in that
we're going to have a little bit of a crossfire here. Here comes the Daka on the cross. You can see this firing lane. They're just drilling shots into the ground, though. They are not making good connections with these Ultras. Most of those shots fell short, and BrosOfSteel gets away with the transition. This Timber, though, coming across late, they're not going to miss this time. Some of them did make contact, 89% on the Timber, and last across is the Arctic Cheetah. Just this is not, though, looking good for BrosOfSteel. They are hemorrhaging points, and now cap points are going to be a consideration here. 3-1 caps, about to be 4-1. They're going to take Sigma, and TCAF just playing the cap game very professionally right now. ultimate map control, just forcing Bros of Steel to continue running in circles, and they are just
And this seems to be
gonna throw this
TCAF's
away.
specialty in competitive play.
Definitely. I mean,
They have
they're
played
playing this
very well
very
map
carefully.
control.
Absolutely.
Yeah, throughout their competitive history, TCAF has been known to be one of those teams that plays Conquest very strongly, is very good at map control, positioning, just getting the best position in order to have the most control points.
This is
And
really
they're doing that again today.
not looking good for Bros of Steel. Rolling a 4-cap, even for a little bit, is just pushing the tickets so high. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends without any reasonable amount of fighting, or Bros of Steel is just going to realize we've made a terrible mistake. They're going to throw their mechs into the fray to try and win on kills, and it's not going to happen. This is not going to end good for Bros of Steel. They just misplayed this horribly on the timing. They've spent so much time touring. They haven't been able to bring weapons to bear. They didn't take too much damage on the crosses, which is good, but there's not going to be enough time for a reasonable fight here. This is not going to end well.
They need to have their lights go on a free reign. They can't keep their lights with the
Look
main
at the
body, which is
rotation.
what they've been doing.
TCAF knows exactly where they are. Look at the rotation. They're already
They had an oxide
ready
at
to
Epsilon
go.
just watching them.
They are ready for this fight to happen, and at this point, even if the fight goes bad for TCAF, they're just going to run somebody out and win it on caps. Not good for Bros of Steel.
Absolutely.
They've got a tall order to be able to pull this off, but let's see if they can do it with these
And
LRMs.
that Oxide is doing a fantastic job just keeping an eye on them. And oh man, here TCAF comes around the corner just pounding that Stormcrow.
Oh yeah, on the cap point there. Oh my goodness. They're not missing this time when they're standing still on a cap point. I'm going to call this
TCAF
right
wants
here.
to get a little bit of
I
match
do
stake
not see any way Bros of Steel is going to be able to come out and win this one. I think this is going to be a very one-sided match to the finish. I know it's an early call, but from everything I've seen so far, nothing is indicating to me that Bros of Steel is going to be able to pull off a win. At 600 tickets for TCAF, the fight is just finally beginning. This is going to be over very quickly. The Kodiak is getting some good shots in, but he's hurt at 76 and dropping quickly, and this is going to be a quick cleanup. Damage is being dealt to TCAF, but it doesn't matter at this point. They're going to win on caps easily.
Absolutely, and they've got like a fresh Black Knight here just getting into the battle.
Yeah, 100%.
That's devastating.
Surly Cat just coming in
Just
with the
took his
cleanup
first
shots.
damage.
Centurion goes down, unable to do much, and this is going to be over, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully Bros of Steel can come back and watch this one. They misplayed it. They spent too much time touring the map. They did not bring any of their firepower to bear. The Spirit Bearer is essentially useless with the LRMs. He didn't do... I'll be surprised if he did over 200 damage, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Centurion, not really a good choice. The Jaeger mech not playing to its potential. Not the right chassis for the job. And that was just... There's so much that wasn't right about that one for Bros of Steel that they need to take a step back and reevaluate that one.
And the damage scores do
Jesus.
reflect that.
Oh, I didn't
The
even
Spirit
put up the
Bear
pip.
doing 27 damage, Jägermech 47, Timberwolf 69, that Stormcrow 4 damage. Just not a good match for Bros of Steel. Any way you slice it. If you want to play a cap game, something like that, at the very least, you can't keep your mechs together in a group of 8.
my
You got to
God.
let your lights roam free. Go for those caps.
You can't bring a 100-tonner onto the field and do 27 damage with it.
No, you can't.
So don't get discouraged, guys. This is all a learning process. Evaluate it. I mean, obviously there's a lot that went wrong here. Take the opportunity to reevaluate your decks, reevaluate your strategies. You can come back from this and learn. We're not just ripping on you. There's a lot you can learn here, but I think this was a very good demonstration. TCAF is a very good team, but a lot of this just came down to them shooting themselves in the foot. Really, they handed this one away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bros of Steel just gave this one to TCAF on a silver platter, and I think that they basically were able to lean back in their chairs and just take advantage of the misplay by Bros of Steel. And obviously TCAF played it very well. Let's not take that away from them. Their map positioning was fantastic. Their cap play was fantastic. They controlled the map well enough that even if Bros of Steel challenged them, they were in a good position to fight. All the best positions to fight from.
Free to go.
And definitely well played by TCAF. But I really do feel that Bros of Steel dug their own grave on this one. And
Yes, absolutely.
let's take a quick look at the map positioning for this. It was really all over the place. Initially, right out the gate, they sent their guys right up to the D2 corner. TCAF, I believe, stacked up immediately on the C4, at least near Theta. You know, it could have been even all the way up to Theta. They sent one of their lights from Alpha to get the initial cap on Kappa here, and I think that BrosOfSteel thought that there might have been a rush coming around that corner because they were set up for an ambush.
They were absolutely waiting for it.
Right here, and it never came. It was just a single light. Part of that can be watching the cap point. How fast is it capping?
Yeah.
And is it only capping for a split second? I mean, if you've got 5 mechs on Kappa, it's going to flip hard cap very quickly. As soon as it flips, it's going to be almost full up, and you can watch that. Well, Kappa got capped, obviously, just barely. That's a typical thing a light would do. He's trying to get back to his fight in case something happens. Obviously, that can be faked and stuff. I'm just looking at the initial, like a typical trend of what a cap would look like. It was a misread on that. They spent so much time waiting. There was no mechs there. They put up a UAV above their heads, gave away their position. TCAF is just chilling on Theta, watching, looking right at them, seeing exactly where that's going to go down.
Yep.
And then
the TCAF lights did a great job following the teams around at range where they couldn't take that much damage, but still being able to get visibility. TCAF basically knew where they were the entire match.
So I think they ultimately did push through Kappa and then like swung back around, crossed the firefight there. So TCAF is just chilling. They do get, you know, fire down range.
Yep.
On the cross, but it all missed. I mean, that was bad for the DACA. They could have connected a little bit better on that cross. It is hard to hit a moving target at that range, but really, ultimately, nothing was done there. The Timberwolf did take a little bit more of that comparatively. He was the last one across, but BrosOfSteel just kind of cruising around. I don't even honestly know where they went from there. I think
they kept on to Gamma.
They went all the way down to Gamma,
all the way around to Gamma, and then came up towards Epsilon.
Went to D4 to Epsilon, and then all TCAF had to do rotate back around, and now they're here, ready to receive. And they had the Stormcrow go to Epsilon. He got completely shredded down, and this death zone, it's over. So.
Yep.
That's a lot of squigglies for BrosOfSteel. A lot of squigglies on the map there, and all that time spent waiting and all that time spent moving. You had 4 caps against you. You had 3 caps against you. The tickets were bleeding, and by the time the fight starts, 600 tickets. Doesn't even matter if you connected on all your shots. The battle was over at that point. That was why it was such an early call. So, well played though by TCAF. And we had some exciting matches today. I'm glad that you guys were here and got to watch this. It was fantastic. Great watching these EU guys. I don't know basically any of these teams, so I was able to come into this completely. Had no idea what this was going to be like, and we had some really awesome fights and very unique decks and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys were entertained. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the giveaways and stuff like that. We will be back next week, most likely Thursday, for some more North American action, and we'll see if we can get something going for EU again on the weekend. I'll have to solidify my schedule. But we are Bandit P17 and MDM0. We are the PGI community, official PGI community casters for the MechWarrior Online World Championship 2016. And we are signing off. Thank you guys for coming by.
Thanks for watching, guys.